Hey,
Hello.
can
How's it
you hear
going?
me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, all is good. I will just quickly test if I'm really recording your sound to prevent any mishaps.
Okay.
So I will play back this intro. Yeah, great. It
Good.
looks fine.
Cool.
Thanks for making the time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
So just to get the formalities out of the way, I'm Matěj. I'm studying at the Charles University in Prague, and I'm not like really like diehard researcher type of guy, but I'm just trying to
Yeah.
finish the thesis which I'm writing on the topic of Warcraft III custom maps, and I'm trying to basically I'm trying to do things. I mean, two things. One of them is to actually analyze and play some of the maps and see how they transform the game from the typical RTS fashion,
hmm
because I think it's quite remarkable. And the second part, I want to discuss with actual creators of those map in general, like what is their background, what got them into basically modding or creating custom maps, and what is their motivation, how it functions. So that's what I would like to do with you. Um,
Cool, man.
so,
I'm excited.
yeah. So you shared that you are working on Mathog's Arena. Can
Yeah.
you tell me a bit more about it?
Yeah. I tell you like kind of back when I first started working on it, like take you from there.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah, sure.
okay?
Wherever you want to start. Like
Yeah.
I have seen that the link you posted, like it dates back to 2014, or
Yeah.
it goes even
It
past that, or that
yeah.
was the start?
It goes even yeah, a few years before that. That was just when I finally was brave enough to release it to the public. And it got to a point where I was like, okay, this is like, at the time I was like, this is good enough for other people to see
Uh-huh.
it. Um, but it started, and you might hear my cat in the background a lot, so just be aware of
No
that.
problem,
But
no problem.
yeah, it started. I mean, I started. Could talk about Warcraft all day long, but yeah, try to keep it short.
It's
I
fine, it's
started,
fine.
man, probably um, a few years, several years before that, even before 2014,
Uh-huh.
working on it, maybe like 2010, 2011.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Just messing around, like messing around in the world editor. You know, I played this game since I was maybe 12 or 13 with my friends, and we would uh,
Uh-huh.
mess around a little bit with the map editor, just like but we didn't know what we were doing. We would just like put a bunch of units on a blank map and
Oh
then
yeah,
have
yeah.
them go to
Th- th-
war. You know?
That's where I stopped.
Yeah.
But I understand this stuff very, very much. And so you mentioned you were 12 or 13. What year was this? Was it like at the release of the game, or did you find out about Warcraft later?
It was yeah, it was like right after, shortly after it released. So
Uh-huh,
I
uh-huh,
might have been even a little bit younger, maybe around 11 or 12. But
uh-huh, uh-huh.
I remember my friends got me into it, a couple of my friends, and I started out just watching them play, and
Mm-hmm.
I was too nervous to get the game and play myself because I was like, oh man, I'm going to get my butt kicked. I'm not going to, there's so much going on. How am I going to be able to play and keep up with them? And then eventually again, I got over that. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to start learning how to play. And I'm still
Mm-hmm.
not like, I'm very casual when it comes to the actual like RTS. I play with my buddy now a few nights a week. We got back into it, but we're just playing casually. I'm not great or anything.
Okay.
Um, but like I was really bad back then. You like you lose to the easy
Yeah,
computers when you don't know how to play,
yeah.
and then eventually you
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
learn how to play. Um, yep, and then started. I was like, whoa, you can make your own stuff in this game. That's really cool. And I've always been into doing that kind of stuff. And then
Yeah, and when you're like playing with your buddy, do you play custom maps or the normal RTS game?
like right now, well, actually, I guess
I mean,
we do both. But even back then,
okay.
it was mostly custom maps. Played, yeah, all kinds of custom maps, lots of like Footman Frenzy, um, some like DBZ tribute, and random like RPGs, tower defenses, and that's what you know that's what got me hooked. It was like you can play any kind of game, and someone can make any kind of game, basically, in this engine. And then yeah, kind of just we'd mess around more and more in the map editor. And I remember like over one summer, like in high school, we like actually got some maps that were kind of simple, but they actually worked. Like they were actually like a game that you could play. Uh,
Okay.
and, um, and then I just never stopped. I'm 33 now, and I that entire time, so like almost 20 years, I've taken breaks. Like I haven't been doing a lot of
Yeah.
editing lately. And shorter on time now, so I have to like pick between either actual gaming or modding and making a game. uh but yeah, it's been like on and off nonstop, uh and then ever since like 2010 ish, I've started working on other maps, and then they either fizzled out or they're just kind of like not playable still. Come on, buddy. But
Yeah.
that one I always come back to, and I've put thousands of hours into it, which is crazy for how like simple how simple the game is.
Yeah.
But
I have like ton of questions, and they are all intertwined, so it's always difficult to like from which angle to jump into it. But I guess the what pops into my head the most is like if you feel like for who did you make the custom map? Like, did you just want to play it with your buddies, or were you also excited to share it, online with complete randoms, or I don't know about your career, whether perhaps you went somewhere into
mhm.
IT or So do you remember like where you actually started?
Yeah, as far as like the reason for making it, or like what I
Mm,
saw in the future of it, yeah, it was literally just for me and my friends to play.
mm,
Um,
mm,
and it really like that's been a large motivator, even though now it's like publicly released. I like
mhm,
I love seeing that some people have like sent replays, or like played it on played it and then put it on YouTube, or just saying that they enjoyed the game like that.
mm, mm,
That once I released it publicly and then started getting some of that positive feedback, that was definitely motivating
mm,
for
mm.
me to like keep working on it. It's like, oh, it's not just for me, it's like other people want to play it
Uh-huh.
too, and see it improve. And then but even still, like even like this whole time, it has been a lot for me and some of my friends have played with it. um a few different
Mm,
friends over the years, but me and one of my best friends, we go way back to the guy I'm playing with
oh, that's
now
great.
still. Like we've played it back then when we were like 12, and we've gone on and off, just like little spurts of obsessively playing the game. um so that and we would play it, play my custom play Mathog's arena, and yeah, it's fun. It's really like, and
Yeah,
I
we
guess,
can get into the gameplay
yeah,
of it,
yeah,
surely.
sure. um yeah, I guess, so all those are all reasons
Uh-huh.
that I keep working on it and stuff. But the real reason, like the deep reason, is I wanted to make a game that I liked playing, and maybe I would
Mm,
play some other games, and I would like think, maybe I was wrong or not, but I was like, maybe I think I could do that better, or at least I could do it the way
Yeah.
I wanted it to be done.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
I'm not like a pro map maker. I kind of just tried to make it work as I went, and it's like the coding is all inefficient, and all this
Yeah, I mean,
stuff.
but 20 years of experience,
Yeah.
that's yeah.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, I've learned, and yeah, I'm sure we'll get into some of that stuff of how like there's a lot of like old stuff that I did when I wasn't very good. So there's like a lot of
Oh
like
yeah, yeah.
things that like recently I asked for help with the map, because that's one of the problems that we have now, is like there's like there's some bugs that um, can kind of make the game uh, annoying to play sometimes. Like it'll crash, or like it'll just get stuck. Um, so like I would play it more with my buddy if we didn't run into those issues, but then I need to go back and fix them and then test them.
Hmm.
Uh, and the map is so old and has so much crap in it that it takes forever to load to like boot it
Oh
up.
yeah.
So it
You
takes a
mean
long
like in
time.
the editor?
Yeah, like I don't know if
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
if I have it. I loaded it in advance, so if I needed it, we could talk about it because I knew it was going to take like 10 minutes if I had to try to load it. But anyway, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, we can get into the gameplay a little bit if you have any like specific questions on it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, to be honest, like what I try to like I'm not like what I try to research the most, is basically how players are able to transform the original like RTS, elements of the game into,
Hmm.
something different. So I see like this is like a survival arena where you control just one hero, or
Hmm.
with a lot of like customizability, right? With like different like spells, like whether you are using only the spells that were predefined in the engine already, or if you like created a bunch of new ones.
Yeah, yeah, it's a bit of both. So, and that's something that I found whenever this is like the only map that is like fully done and works, but I have like other projects that are like, you know, kind of
Mm-hmm.
functional, but not really, not yet. Um,
Uh-huh.
and every single one, like I love Warcraft so much. I love the RTS so much. Um, that like while there are some, there's a lot of custom maps that are nothing like Warcraft, right? They completely transform the
Yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Um, and I think that's really cool. And I've played those games, but I just whenever I go in to like make a custom map in Warcraft, um, I always want it to feel like Warcraft. You know,
Okay.
I
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
because like I don't know, cause like some people like there's crazy stuff that people do in the map editor nowadays where it's like they're like Mario Kart, like somebody made like you can play Mario Kart basically in the Warcraft engine, and they
Yeah, I
all
think
these
it
crazy
was
things.
actually Blizzard, right? Blizzard
No,
themselves,
well, yeah,
like the
yeah,
brains.
they did do that, but somebody took it like to the next level.
Ah,
I
okay.
I haven't played it. I just saw it in passing, but
Okay,
there's
okay.
things like that where people completely like redo the game from the ground up, and it's like it doesn't even feel like Warcraft anymore, which is what they're going for.
Mhm.
But again, like
Uh-huh.
I'm not that techie or that I never got into that kind of stuff that advanced. Um,
Mhm.
I really just I like really I'm like I just want to make custom items and custom abilities, but it still feels very Warcrafty.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
so
Uh,
so in
yeah.
that sense, there's some. It feels like Warcraft still, and there are many custom heroes that have many custom abilities. Some have kind of a mix of like it might be pretty standard a Warcraft ability, or it has a slightly different
Mhm, mhm.
functionality. Um, Whereas some are like completely like they don't really feel like a Warcraft hero per se, but
Mhm,
the
mhm.
gameplay still feels kind of like Warcraft. But then I also have 12 of the heroes in the map are just the normal ones. I have some of the just standard heroes with
Mhm.
more or less exactly the same abilities with some minor changes. Um, and then there's like,
Mhm.
talents where you can customize the abilities and stuff, but other than that, they're like standard.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Okay, yeah, that's an interesting mix. To be honest, of like this blend of the standard and like completely custom ones. So, so I'm like interested. Did you also make some? Since you mentioned that you also enjoy the RTS style of maps, did you make some custom maps that are like in the normal, like let's say would be normally playable in the RTS fashion, or your custom maps mostly revolved around like having one hero or something like that?
Most of them are. more like kind of like the one hero kind of controlling. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
you have like summonable units, or like you can have like a small amount of soldiers, like a mercenaries, or like a small army to control, but not really the total RTS kind of feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of I kind of did some of that back when I would work on try to work on campaigns, like a custom campaign, and then I would have maybe some stages that were like more RTS kind of feel to it. But again, those
Mm-hmm.
never that was a long time ago, and I never those were like, yeah, kind of half finished things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, and you like mentioned that you mostly play with your buddy, and so on. So, like the community aspect of it, like, do you engage with like other custom app creators in like in a meaningful way, or you just mostly started by yourself and then later on started like sharing a bit and maybe talking a bit, but it's not a major like aspect for you?
Yeah, not well. The community, the like modding community, is a big part of uh the map, in the sense that I go, like, the map is hosted on the Hive, and that's
Mm,
I've gotten the map would not be how it is without that, because there's like all these like custom systems that I would never know how to make in a million years, that I've
mm-hmm,
pulled from there. Custom models, custom icons, a lot of that stuff. And so a lot of it's not I'm not directly collaborating with anybody.
mm-hmm,
It's I'm trying to think before I speak, but I'm like, did anyone else help me at all with any of this? It's
mm-hmm.
basically all me. I've gotten uh, some ideas, I suppose, from some other people, but
Yeah, I
I got a lot
guess.
of inspiration from the stuff on the Hive. So like sometimes I would just scroll through, like I would like maybe search, or just scroll through the new resources people uploaded, like new
Mm-hmm,
icons or new models, and I would see one. I'm like, that thing looks so cool. I'm gonna make something around that and
mm-hmm.
then put it in the game. Like, it wasn't gonna be a thing until I saw it, and then I was like,
Yeah,
that looks
yeah,
so
yeah,
cool. I'm
yeah.
gonna bring it in.
Understand.
Um,
Yeah,
and
but
yeah.
like in other interview, for example, I heard that they have their own Discord and they talk with each other about the process of the creation of the maps, and they are more like engaged, like sort of having, I would say, even like friends or like
Mhm.
colleagues that are also into this. So like from what
I'm
you are
basically a
saying,
loner.
yeah,
I'm a
yeah, yeah.
loner in that
That's
regard.
what.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which is also like interesting, because for a lot of people, like the modding aspect is like all about the community and they want to be praised by others,
Hmm.
and then like there are all sorts of like motivations. But that's what I'm curious about. So, if that's all right, I would
Hmm.
also like ask about like your real life background. If you work, let's say, with computers, or if you work, I don't know, anywhere
Hmm.
else. If you feel like your passion for Warcraft 3 uh, changed anything about like your career or personal life.
Yeah. It did for sure. So yeah, I mean, I don't, I kind of work on the computer now, but I'm not like IT or anything like that. I've
Hmm.
never gone down that route. But
Hmm.
so I work in the fitness field. I'm a that I mentioned earlier. I'm a
Hmm.
fitness coach for gamers. It's all online coaching stuff. And
Uh-huh,
it's
uh-huh.
uh really yeah, it's kind of crazy. But the stuff I did in Warcraft, in the map editor, especially,
Hmm.
like that, I used a lot of those skills, if you want to call it that. I used a lot of that in what I've done in like the fitness program that I made, because it's a it's a fitness program, but it's also like a video game that people play through to learn
Hmm.
things. Um, and like they do workouts in real life, and it gives them XP for their character in game and levels them up and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
I understand.
and it's like set in like a fantasy RPG world, and there's like different characters, and like a bunch of like lore
Uh-huh.
and all that stuff. So, and that's all stuff that I did for fun. I did that for fun in inside the map editor, like making like like if you uh did you play the Rexar campaign in the Frozen Throne?
Yeah, the founding of Durotar,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I love that too.
Uh-huh.
But like if you found like a unique item there, then it might have some like flavor text on it. A lot of the games do that now, but like I would do that kind of stuff for different items, or like write the backstory for a hero, and like I do that now. Like I use that in my coaching program.
Uh-huh,
Um,
uh-huh, uh-huh.
and again, like I said, I'm not like super techy, but even just using the basic trigger editor in uh in the map editor, just doing GUI stuff where you're not like
Mm-hmm.
coding, that just knowing like just being able to think like that, like just like in if then statements, um and I don't know, stuff, just basic stuff like that helped me build the stuff that I built for my program.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
It just clicked.
Yeah, and your program is like in like on what medium or in what you know like is it an app or is it like some PDF instructions or
It's
yeah.
it's in an app. It's not like my app or anything. It's called, so it's, you can access it on the computer too. It's built in a software called Notion. Um,
Mhm. Yeah, yeah,
so
I
okay,
know that.
yeah. So in
Yeah.
that, like I just use Notion for like personal stuff, and then it slowly kind of evolved to, and then like I had some ideas for this like video game fitness program thing, and I started building it in like Google Sheets, and then I just like kept running into issues of how I envisioned it working. It wasn't going to work just in like these spreadsheets. Um, and then
Mm-hmm.
I was also like doing some like personal or business notes or whatever journaling inside Notion, and then I was like, why don't I just do it in there?
Mm-hmm.
There's so much customizability in that too. Um, so I mean, there's definitely limitations. I can't make it like a real video game, but it's kind of like a text based like choose your story,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
a little
Yeah.
bit kind of thing. But
Yeah,
yeah.
that sounds intriguing, and I hope it's not a rude question, but you're talking about it that this is quite recent,
Yeah.
or for how long are you doing this? And like if you were fitness trainer also beforehand, like
hmm
or
Yeah.
yeah.
So um, yeah, let's see. I started personal training. I started in 2018, and I did
Mm-hmm.
that. It's like in person. I did that for about 5 years. I was just a personal trainer at that location for a while. And then I don't know, maybe a couple years later, I started managing the location. Um,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
and then eventually just kind of had this idea that I wanted to do something on my own.
Yeah.
Um, and then just like kind of took a leap and went for it. And it's like it's still a work in progress. But and
Mm-hmm.
there's been like so many challenges, but it's been like I'm glad that I've done it. And then for
Yeah.
this program, it took me a while to figure out exactly what I wanted to do, and then the fitness for gamers kind of thing just kept coming back, and then I was like, that's what I got to do,
Mm-hmm.
because like
Yeah,
I'm such a that's that's all I want to do most of the time. Is like I do like working out, but I'm like love video games, so
uh, Yeah, it sounds like a good combination of these two. It reminds me that it's not for fitness, but for building habits. I think I used to have an app called Habitica, which also
Yeah.
you had like your character, which you
Yep.
scaled
Yeah.
using that.
I used that
But
for a little bit a while
yeah.
back. It was cool, and I could see myself going some route like that where it is
Uh-huh.
a little more gamified, or it's like its own, like official app kind of thing. But um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, 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 sounds great. Good luck with this endeavor. I think it's good to have this kind of mindset of trying to go for things that you enjoy.
Hmm.
But if we pivot back to the custom maps in Warcraft 3, it's um, so you mentioned that you started by basically making maps for you and your friends. Um, when you are still developing the Mathog arena today, do you feel like the motivation changed, or it's basically still the same thing?
Uh, that's still there for sure.
Hmm.
It is interesting. There because there's like multiple motivations.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah. Let's
right.
dive deep.
Yeah, I guess the biggest motivation right now, if I could like sum it up into one thing, because
Hmm.
it's like it's all tied together. Like
Hmm.
I guess the biggest thing is, and not to make it not in a negative way, but like I want it to be done. I want because I have a vision for how the game
Hmm.
is when
Hmm.
it's finished, and it's almost there. I got like two more versions planned out, just like two more updates, kind of major
Uh-huh.
updates
Uh-huh.
to release, and then I can like kind of wipe my hands clean and be like, all right, I worked on it for like 12 years, spent way too much time on this thing. Uh, and honestly, the main reason I mean, it's just a mini game, right? It's not like this like epic RPG or campaign. I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, like I don't want to keep adding stuff to it because I've maybe already done that a little too much and I've peeled some things back. Like I don't want it to be bloated. Like
Hmm.
just keep adding
Yeah.
stuff to it. Um, I just want it to be fun and somewhat balanced and runs well. Um, so yeah, like right now, like I guess the fun part is new ideas and creating new things.
Hmm.
And I do have some new ideas that I want to get to, but like I mentioned before, there's like just some underlying problems with the performance of the map, especially as it goes on
Hmm.
longer. It starts to get pretty laggy. So I've had to go back. There's like all kinds of like memory leak issues that I just didn't know
Hmm.
about. So I've gone back and it just, like I said, it takes so long to load the map. It takes a long, like to load up the editor. It takes a long time to load up the map to test it and save it. Uh,
Hmm.
Even when I'm trying to edit things inside the editor, it takes a long time for a lot of the screens, like interfaces, to load up. So it's just all
Hmm.
really, really slow. And I'm also just doing like bug testing kind of things, like not really
Hmm.
fun things.
Yeah,
So it's a real slog to try to
yeah.
make progress, and then you test something. It's like, okay, that didn't work either. Let me try 10 more things, and then it finally
Uh-huh.
starts working. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, and that's why I feel like, okay, I want it to be done so that when I get back into like a map editing kind of phase, then I can work on a new idea. And the map
Uh-huh.
actually loads fast and I can just get things done a little faster. So that is a
S-
big
s-
motivator, and just because I know it's out in the public,
Uh-huh.
a decent amount of people have played it. So like I want it to be done. I want it to run well so I can play it with my buddy without it crashing or us getting stuck half the time. Uh, and I want other people to experience that too. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you mentioned the other people. I see like there's over like 12,000 downloads on the Hive.
mhm.
Is this like the main version, or if I'm like, let's say, trying to approximate how many players could have played this? I know that they can also like share it, peer to peer, or I don't
Yeah,
know, they can
that
copy
that's
it,
the
but
that's the main spot is on the
uh-huh.
Hive. So that's definitely where most of the downloads are coming from.
Yeah,
I
but
think.
super impressive.
Thanks. Yeah, yeah, man. I looked at the download count the other day because I remember when it crossed 10,000. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And then, and then I was like, I was releasing updates more slowly, so I wasn't really checking on it. And then I just looked at it
Mm.
uh, yesterday or the day before. I was like, oh, cool, it broke 12,000. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's just cool to
Yeah.
think. I mean, like we're talking about Warcraft, across the world right now, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
cool to think of. I just sat there, and I just like I as much as I don't like the map editor running slowly and having to test little bugs 20,000 times. It is really satisfying when you get it to work, and then when you boot up the game and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, it works the way I wanted it to, and it's very satisfying to
Mm-hmm.
see that, especially when you make like a custom hero or item or something and it just works really well. So I really enjoy. That's why I come back to doing it. If I didn't enjoy that process at all, I would not be doing it anymore, and I
Uh-uh.
would not have worked on it as much as I did. Um, I remember like at an office job that I had when I was obsessively working on it. Uh, there were times, and it was always like in a few month spurts when I would work on a new version.
Mm-hmm.
I would bring my laptop with me to work, and then on my 15-minute breaks and my lunch, I would pull out my laptop and and work on it because I was like obsessed. That's all I was thinking
Uh-huh.
about. Uh,
Yeah,
but
that's crazy. But I understand, like the passion. That's what makes the custom app scene, amazing. And actually now I'm getting a bit of the point of my research. So, so I won't be using all the information we talk about here. But do you also like? I don't know if you switched fully to Reforged or if because me and my buddies we mostly play with 126, like the old client.
Mhm. Okay.
So I don't know if it's compatible or do we
Um,
need like the reforged version?
I I don't know if it would be compatible, to be honest. I know
Mm-hmm.
I have played in Reforged. I've tested it in Classic because of the performance issues I mentioned, and it like because I thought
Uh-huh.
maybe it's just like because Reforged, they didn't do a good job with
Uh-huh.
their performance on it, right? Um,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know. I love the classic graphics, but I do like the Reforged graphics too. So I kind of
Mm-hmm.
like playing on Reforged. And again,
Mm-hmm.
some of the custom models and icons on the Hive, mainly the models. There's some like Reforged ones that
Mm-hmm.
I've used. So then I like
Mm-hmm.
kind of built it to be in Reforged. So I I think it'll run just fine in Classic. I don't know about because you said like the earlier like 1.26
Mm-hmm.
patch. I don't know. You might be able to tell me,
Okay,
but
okay, okay.
the only
Yeah.
you would only run into issues with like some of the icons not loading up. You'd get like
Mm-hmm.
the green square. Maybe some of the model. Yeah, I think there's some reforged only models in there,
It's fine. Maybe yeah, maybe I will
but
you know buy the reforged one day.
to your point, that is something I've thought about, and that's another reason I would like to get to like a final version, or at least something that runs like there's no major bugs or
Mm-hmm.
anything. Because then I could make a classic friendly version where there's no issues like that,
Mm-hmm.
Um, whereas if I did it
Yeah.
now, then I would have two broken games that I have to keep
Yeah,
going
of
back and forth
course.
and
Like
fixing.
it's
But um,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay, okay, yeah. So I think we are coming to the end. Thanks for all the info you shared. It's really
yeah,
great to
man.
listen to. And I just wanted to ask, perhaps, like for inspiration, since I'm looking for games that like push the boundaries of what you can do in Warcraft 3 custom maps. Do you know about any like games that twisted the typical RTS gameplay in interesting way? Perhaps like for example, I found out like the weakest link, which is
Yeah.
like basically based on the show, like
Yep.
it's
That was
placed
a game we
the
used to
yeah
play. Yeah, that's
yeah,
we would
exactly.
crack
So
up so much. Yeah.
I'm like analyzing like Slide Ninja Slides,
Hmm.
Weakest Link, and a couple of others that I feel like they transform it completely. Like, people who are not in the scene cannot comprehend how
Yeah.
diverse the content is. So
Yeah.
so since you are much deeper, in the Warcraft 3 scene, I wanted to ask if you have any perhaps recommendation of what you remember that was really cool or really uncanny, in that sort of sense.
Yeah. Um, Stuff that breaks away from RTS. Yeah, man, there's so many. Like trying to think
Yeah,
back to
yeah. I
everything
mean,
I
no, no, no,
played.
no no pressure. Like it could be just top of the mind,
Yeah.
or we can also
Well,
like skip this altogether.
yeah,
I
no,
know there's a
there's
lot.
yeah, I'm looking at I have a Dragon Ball Z like painting up on my wall. So the DBZ tribute thing that comes to mind.
Uh-huh,
Um,
uh-huh,
but and then thinking like older school, like uh, like Footman Frenzy, like there is some RTS elements, but
uh-huh,
it's like it's just sending giant armies, and then it's a lot
uh-huh,
of it's
uh-huh.
like your one hero. Um, but that definitely has still some classic RTS elements. Then you got all the
Mm-hmm.
tower defenses, and then that how that spawned all the like tower defense like flash games and apps now and
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
all that stuff.
Yeah,
Obviously, you got the MOBA genre, you got Dota,
yeah.
but like uh, there, yes, more specific. There's oh man, there's custom campaigns that kind of change things up a
Mm-hmm.
lot. Oh man, I'm trying to think
Mm-hmm.
of To the Bitter End
Uh-huh,
was a
okay.
really good one. I haven't played it in a long time, but it was I don't even think I finished it, but it was very difficult. It was challenging.
Was the
Um,
end too bitter?
yeah, yeah. It was like it was kind of like I don't know, I can't think of the term, but you would control. It was mainly like you would control multiple heroes. So you started out with maybe
Uh-huh,
one, and then you would kind of find the rest of your party as you went. And then
uh-huh,
that's when it
uh-huh,
got really intense because you have like three, four, five different heroes with a bunch of custom abilities and use like activatable items. And it was very challenging, so you had to be able to utilize all that um, to
uh-huh,
win.
uh-huh.
Um, so it was a little bit different feeling in that regard.
Okay.
And
Yeah, yeah. I looked it up.
yeah, it was really fun. And then just some like more popular ones like Sunken City is a hosted map on
Uh-huh,
the Hive,
uh-huh.
and that's super duper popular. Really fun. It's got more of like dungeon crawler elements and puzzles and things like that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Um, and then
Yeah, yeah.
one that comes to mind of the ones that I can remember that are like feel like a totally different game. There's
Mm-hmm,
one called I think it's called Particle Party, and
mm-hmm.
that's on the Hive as well. Um, that is just it's not Warcraft at all. It's like completely different game, but just um, it just blows my mind that somebody could do that stuff inside the Warcraft engine.
Uh-huh,
Um,
uh-huh.
and there's a one last one that just came to mind. It's I think it's just called Warden, and it's a single player map, and I believe it was really just controlling the one hero, but it just um,
Uh-huh.
has a little bit of a Warcraft feel to it, but it's just completely different at the same time.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Okay, okay. Yeah, these are cool recommendations. I will look them up later. And yeah, I think this pretty much sums it up nicely. Like, do you have
Cool,
anything
man.
perhaps you would like to like expand on, or anything you would like to add? Like, there's still space for that.
Um, well, we I forgot to add this. You asked if we play like RTS, like the kind of normal kind of maps, or if I have done
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
any custom maps that are like custom, but the standard RTS feel. That's actually what me
Mm-hmm.
and my buddy mainly play now. Um, we
Uh-huh.
I there's um a what is it called? Advanced melee AI. Somebody made a more interesting AI that
Uh-huh.
you can put into your maps. They're not perfect, but they make the game a little more interesting. They mix up their strategies. They're not quite as dumb as the
Uh-huh.
normal
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
normal AI.
Because the basic AI cheats in the game, right? Like the insane AI.
Oh yeah, they do. But
Yeah,
but we turn them on insane, so they get double resource generation. And then
yeah,
we started kicking their ass too much, so then we dropped our handicap down to 80%. So now we have like less health, and then now it's
okay.
more of a challenge. But like I said, they're still kind of dumb sometimes. But other times you're like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you're making twice as many units as I can make, so I sometimes you get unlucky. But
Yeah.
so we have there's that I added I that's not my thing. Someone else made it, and I put it into the maps. But then I have added uh, custom heroes and a custom hero tavern. There's like 12 custom heroes, and some like custom items that you can buy or get as drops. Just to make
Mm-hmm.
it just to spice things up. So and it does like we haven't really gotten bored. We play 2 or 3 nights a week, play a few games, and just keep it running.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. All right, Shane, like really, thanks a lot for your time.
Yeah, man, I'm glad I came across
This is
came
great.
across your Reddit post. I was like, that sounds cool, and then you got back to me super quick. So,
Oh
um,
yeah,
yeah,
because
I love talking about Warcraft. So,
yeah, I'm like a procrastinator, and and I really
yeah,
need to finish it. So
yeah, man.
thanks very. And honestly, like I'm also in a position where I got so deep into the analysis of the actual like custom maps, that I don't know what's the English word for that, but basically the professor who oversees my thesis, like he told me that at this point, like the interviews and the analysis of the motivation wouldn't be as necessary, but it's all in like my books, it's noted that it's supposed to be part of it. So
Yeah,
I will see how I will combine these two researches. So
sure, man.
I always just say this to not put people like big hopes that this
Yeah,
will be like a breakthrough or anything.
yeah. No, even if we
I'm
just
just a
talked
bloke.
about it, man. Even if we were just talking about it, that would have been
Yeah.
worth it for
And
me. So,
honestly, it's great. I mean, I worked in like game industry for several years
yeah,
as like community manager and so on, and I also worked with modders, and it was always so nice to see so much passion, for their craft,
hmm,
and honestly, I so far had like 2 interviews, including this one, and it's super cool to hear so much about Warcraft 3, because I'm more or less like on the side, like a casual player,
hmm.
and but I keep coming back too because it's my childhood,
I'm the same way.
So yeah,
You'd think I'd be
so
better with how much I've played over the years, but still pretty bad.
yeah, I'm also like I suck. Like I think I because I don't want to like try hard and to learn the meta game
Yeah, we're
online.
we're the same way. We're just trying to have fun,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
like we both have kids, like kind of young kids. So we're
Uh-huh,
dads now. So like there's a lot of times where we're like, oh dude, I gotta pause. So I'll be right back, and then we're gone for like 15 minutes or let the dog out.
uh-huh,
So like
uh-huh.
we could not really play with other people, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Makes
it,
sense.
it
Makes
just it
sense.
works. It's chill. It works
Yeah,
better.
for me, it's more like I really wanted to beat insane computer, so I found out that other players use like night elf structures, to actually creep on the early levels, which is something that my and
Yeah.
my buddies playing in our capsules. I never like figured it out,
Mm-hmm.
and suddenly I was able to beat it.
Nice.
But on the other hand, I don't want to like go online and find like shopping lists of like build orders for
Yeah.
paladin, rifles
Right.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
stuff
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Some of that can make it more fun when you learn some things, but when it like it takes away all your like creativity, and then you're just like following
mm-hmm.
like I'm just
Yeah,
gonna do
yeah.
this 100 times because that's what wins more. Like, are you even having
Yeah,
fun anymore? Because that's the
yeah,
whole
yeah,
point.
exactly.
So
Yeah. Okay, man. Again, thanks a lot. Happy to
yeah,
talk
thank you, man.
about it, and I will keep an eye on the project. And if I ever get reforged, with my buddies, maybe we will give it a go.
Yeah,
It
let me know,
sounds
man.
really nice.
Cool, man. Yeah, you
Okay.
you can you can hit me up on Discord whenever.
Yeah, same for you, man.
Awesome.
Even though we will have probably a bit of latency
Yeah,
between us.
yeah.
But
Yeah, thanks for doing this so late too.
yeah, I
For
mean,
you.
I'm the one who's like, getting data for my research, so it's the least I can do,
It's mutual thanks.
Yeah, okay.
All right, man.
Have a nice day,
All right.
and maybe see you around.
Yeah, man.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, Matthias, see ya.